In this video, I'm going to do a step-by-step beginner tutorial on how to trade futures on Blofin. If you're still relatively new to the platform and you want to learn about some of the basic functions, like how to deposit some assets or trade on the spot market, I did make a separate tutorial for that, and I'll be sure to leave a link to that video in the description down below for anyone that might find that helpful. In this video, I'll be focusing on futures trading. I'm going to show you how to transfer your assets into your futures account. Then I'll take you to the futures market, show you the different pairings, and get you familiar with the user interface. Then I'll explain the funding rate, how to change your margin mode, as well as how to adjust your leverage. Then I'll demonstrate some trades going long and short, using market orders, limit orders, and how to set a stop loss and take profit as well. All of that and more with some tips and tricks along the way. I also left a link for you in the description of this video, as well as in the pinned comment down below. If you use that link and create an account on Blofin, you'll be saving 5% on all your trading fees for the lifetime of your account. Blofin is also often running promotions for people who use my link when creating accounts. These can be deposit bonuses, mystery boxes, airdrops, giveaways, and more. So if you use my link and create an account, you'll be saving 5% on all your trading fees and be eligible for the current promotion, whatever that might be by the time you're watching this video. You'll also be supporting my channel at no extra cost to you. This video is not financial advice and is for educational purposes only. Always do your own research before ever using a crypto exchange, including Blofin. I also left you some timestamps in the description down below, so at any point, feel free to skip to a section that might be most relevant to you. Let's get into the video. If you click on my link in the description of this video or in the pinned comment down below, you'll be redirected to this page here, where you can create an account by simply using an email, put in a good password, make sure to read through the terms of service. If it all looks good to you, check this box here and simply click on sign up to create your account. I'll also point out at the time of recording this video, there is an exclusive promotion running for people who use my link when signing up. And you can see right here that you can deposit to receive 20% trading bonus in cash back. Now this promotion could be different by the time you're watching this video. I'll also mention that anybody that uses my link when signing up is also going to be saving 5% on all their trading fees for the lifetime of their account. And that is an ongoing promotion for anyone that uses my link at any time. So feel free to use my link in the pinned comment down below and take advantage of some of these promotions. Once your account is created, I'll show you where you can find additional rewards. Just simply come right up here where it says Rewards Hub and give this a click. That'll bring you to this page here where you can claim additional rewards. You'll see right down here that there's some futures bonuses. So make sure to register for this. You can see that the more you deposit, the more you trade with, the more bonuses you're going to be unlocking. So if you're going to be trading futures anyways, just make sure to register for this and then come in here and claim these additional bonuses. You can use these bonuses to place additional trades and the profits are yours to keep. So if you're trading futures anyways, just make sure to not leave any money on the table. Now I'm going to take us back to the home page by simply clicking on the Blofin logo top left-hand side of the screen. And let's proceed with the tutorial. If you need to deposit some Tether or any other crypto for that matter, you can find the crypto deposit form if you come right up here where it says assets, then click here on deposit. And this will bring you over to a standard crypto deposit form. Now, if anybody needs any additional help or information on how to deposit assets onto Blofin, I do cover this step by step in my Blofin beginners tutorial. So I'll be sure to leave a link to that video in the description down below for anyone that might find that helpful. In this video, I want to focus on futures trading, but this is where you find the deposit form in the event you need to deposit some assets onto the platform. So I'm going to head back to the home page by clicking on the Blofin logo top left-hand side. Before trading futures, we'll first have to transfer Tether into our futures account. So to get this done, we'll come right up here where it says assets and we'll click here on overview. And here's where we'll see an overview of all our different accounts. To transfer between these accounts, we'll come right over here where it says transfer top right hand side and we'll give that a click. In this pop-up window here, you can transfer assets internally between your accounts and there's no fees to get this done. It's simply an internal transfer. So you can see in my case here, I'm currently set up to transfer Tether from funding and into futures. If yours isn't set up that way, you just click right here. You'd select funding from this drop-down menu or whatever account that your Tether is in, and then you'd click here and you'd select USDT. Next, we need to choose how much Tether we wish to transfer into the account. You'll be able to see your available balance right here. So you can transfer a custom amount if you want by doing this, or you can just click here on all to transfer everything. Then click on confirm. And transfer successful. So I've transferred my Tether into my futures account. If we come over here on the left-hand side and click where it says futures, we can now see that Tether in my futures account. So now I'm ready to trade on the futures market. To get into the futures market, we'll just come right up here to where it says futures, and we're going to go ahead and click here on USDTM. And this will bring you into the futures trading user interface. You'll find all your different pairings that you can trade over here, top left-hand side. So in my case where it says BTC USDT. If you hover over top of that, you'll get a drop-down menu, and these are all the different coins that you can trade on the futures market. You can just simply click on whatever coin it is that you wish to trade, or you can search for one in the search bar up above. So for example, if I wanted Solana, I would type in the ticker for Solana, which is SOL. I can see Solana right here, and I would need to select the Solana USDT because I'm trading the USDT futures market. So this would be the correct pairing right here. Now, as you can see, I just changed this to Solana versus Tether. So now I can go long or short on Solana. If I want to get back to Bitcoin, we'll just come back to the pairings. I can see Bitcoin up at the top, so I'll just go ahead and give that a click. Now, as you can see, I just toggled this back to BTC USDT. And right here, we have our price action chart showing you the asset's performance over a selected time frame. You can see in my case here, I'm currently set to a 4-hour time frame. That means each candlestick down below represents 4 hours of time. If you want to change the time frame you're viewing, just click on the time frame you wish to view. So for example, I can click here on 1D. That stands for 1 day. So now I'm looking at a 1-day time frame, meaning that each one of these candlesticks now represents a day of time. If you want additional time frames, just hover over this little triangle here. You'll find additional time frames in this drop-down menu. This chart is also powered by TradingView, which means you're going to have access to some basic drawing tools as well as some basic indicators. You'll see your drawing tools over here on the left-hand side. You'll notice beside each drawing tool is a tiny little triangle. If you click on that, it'll expand into a drop-down menu where you can find additional drawing tools. Your indicators can be found right here in this little tab. If you give this a click, you'll get a pop-up window. And here's where you can select a basic indicator from TradingView. Simply click on the indicator you wish to add to your chart. Or if there's something specific you're looking for, just search for it in the search bar. So for example, if I wanted the MACD, I'll just go ahead and type that in. And as you can see, it comes up right here. And now I'll just go ahead and give that a left click. I'll close this out. And as you can see, I just added the moving average convergence divergence to the bottom of the chart. If I want to get rid of that, I'll just click on this little X inside this pane right here. And as you can see, I removed it just like that. Next to the price action chart is where you'll find the order book. And that's showing you where market participants have placed limit orders to open long positions, short positions, or their take profit on their currently open positions. And the top side of the order book in red, we have what's known as the asks. These are the price points that market participants have either placed a limit order to open a short position or a take profit on their long position. Down here in green, we have what's known as the bids. These are the price points that market participants have placed their orders to open long positions or their take profit on their short positions. And they're doing this by using limit orders, which I'll be demonstrating in this tutorial. And over here next to the order book is where you'll find your order panel, where you can open long positions, betting on the price to go up, or short positions, betting on the price to go down. And you can do that using limit orders, market orders, and trigger orders. And if you hover over top of this, you'll get a drop-down menu with some other options. And I've made separate tutorials for some of these, like trailing stop loss, for example. So when you're done watching this tutorial and you want to learn more about some of these more advanced order types, feel free to check out my playlist on my YouTube channel. In this tutorial, I'll demonstrate limit orders as well as market orders, and I'll show you how to set up take profits and stop losses. And right above the price action chart, you'll find what's known as the funding rate as well as a countdown timer. Now, at the time of making this video, you can see there's a positive funding rate of 0.01%. This means traders holding onto long positions will be paying that funding rate to traders holding short positions when this countdown timer reaches 0. If you ever see a negative funding rate, that means traders holding onto short positions would be paying the funding rate to traders holding onto long positions when the countdown timer reaches 0. If you close your position before that countdown timer reaches 0, you won't be paying the funding rate. Now, it is a good idea to pay attention to the funding rate because sometimes there can be a really high funding rate. And if there is, it can become expensive to hold on to a position. This funding rate right now for Bitcoin is a pretty normal funding rate. But sometimes when you're trading altcoins, you'll see a high funding rate up there. And just keep in mind that it can become expensive to hold on to positions. And right up above the order panel is where you'll find your margin mode, as well as your leverage. So in my case, you can see I'm currently set to cross margin using 2x leverage. If you want to change your margin mode, we can do that by clicking right here. So in my case where it says cross, you'll get a pop-up window where you can toggle between cross margin as well as isolated margin mode. You'll even find a brief description of what each margin mode means in this box down below here. But in a nutshell, cross margin mode means that your entire futures account balance will be used as collateral across all of your open positions, whether you have 1 open position or 5 open positions. So if you get liquidated when using cross margin, you'll lose your entire futures account balance. But in some cases, cross margin can also help prevent liquidation. For example, let's imagine that you have 2 trades on. You have a long position on Bitcoin and a long position on Ethereum, betting on the price of those assets to go up. Let's imagine in that scenario that Bitcoin is going up and your trade is becoming profitable. But at the same time, maybe your Ethereum trade is going down and you're taking a loss. The profits from your Bitcoin position will be temporarily offsetting your losses from your Ethereum position. So in some cases, cross margin can also help prevent liquidation. But I'll also mention that you can always use a stop loss and proper risk management to avoid liquidation altogether. And I'll be showing you how to set stop losses in this tutorial. It's never a good idea to let your account get liquidated. Always use proper risk management. And if you'd like to use isolated margin mode, you just give it a click. And in a nutshell, isolated margin mode means that only what you put into a position as collateral is used as collateral. So in other words, all your positions are now independent from one another. So if one of your positions gets liquidated, you only lose the collateral that you put into that particular position, not your entire account balance, unless you put your entire account balance into one trade. Again, that's not proper risk management. I wouldn't recommend doing that. But as I mentioned earlier, you can always use a stop loss as proper risk management to avoid liquidation altogether. For this tutorial, I'll go ahead and just use cross margin and I'll click on confirm. And of course, if we come back up to the order panel, you can see I'm still on cross margin. If you'd like to adjust your leverage, you can click right here. So in my case where it says 2x, you'll get a pop-up window where you can adjust your leverage by using one of these options right here. But alternatively, you can always type a custom amount into this box right here. So I'll just go ahead and type 2x. Now, if you're using 2x leverage on cross margin, this means that you can put on position sizes 2 times greater than your account balance. If I was to select 5x using cross margin mode, that means I can put on position sizes 5 times greater than my futures account balance. If I was using isolated margin mode, this would mean I can put on position sizes 5 times greater than the collateral needed to open the position. So for example, if I wanted a position size of 500 Tether and I was using 5x leverage, I would only need 100 Tether collateral to open that position. So as you can see, leverage does give you the ability to trade with more money than you actually have in your account, which can certainly maximize your gains. But what's more important to understand is that leverage can also maximize your losses or get you completely liquidated. The more leverage that you use, the easier it is to get liquidated. So always keep that in mind when selecting the amount of leverage you wish to trade with. I'm perfectly fine demonstrating with 2x, so I'm just going to click here on 2x. And of course, I'm on cross margin, so this means I can put on position sizes 2 times greater than my account balance if I choose. And I'll just click here on confirm. When you come back up to the order panel, you'll be able to see how much leverage that you selected. So in my case, this is unchanged because I selected 2x. And I'll start with a market order. These order types are nice and simple. They're going to open immediately at the best available price off the order book, whether you're opening a long position, betting on the price to go up, or opening a short position, betting on the price to go down. So of course, the first thing we want to do is come up to our pairings and choose the asset that you wish to trade. I'm perfectly fine demonstrating with Bitcoin, so I'm going to leave this as it is. Next, we're going to come over here to the order panel, and we'll make sure to click right here on market. Now I simply need to choose the size of the position I wish to open. And we can do that in this box right here. And you can also use the slider bar down below. So if I was to slide this up to say 50%, that would put 50% of my available balance into this position. If I was to slide this up to 100%, that would put 100% of my available balance into this position. Alternatively, we can always type a custom amount into this box right here. Now you'll notice in my case, this box is quoted in BTC, which is the underlying asset that I'm currently trading. But you can change that by clicking right here. And if you want to, you can select amount in USDT. And as you can see, I've just toggled this box to USDT. So now I can choose the size of the position I wish to open in Tether. So for this demonstration, I'll open a position size of 100 Tether. Now, if I was betting on the price to go up, I'd come down here and click on buy long. And if I was betting on the price to go down, I'd click right here on sell short. So for this demonstration, I'll go ahead and click on buy long. You'll get an order confirmation pop-up window, so confirm everything's what you intended. I can see my leverage I'm using here is 2x, looks good. And I can see my margin mode is cross. And I can see that I'm trying to open a position size of 100 USDT at market. So the best available price off the order book. This looks good to me, so I'm going to click here on confirm. And as you can see, that position opened immediately at the best available price on the order book. If we come over to the chart, we can now see that position inside this green box right here. You can find more details of your open positions if you look down below here. If you don't see your open positions, just make sure you're set to the positions tab by giving it a click. Under average price, you'll be able to see the price point that you were able to open the trade at. So in my case here, this trade opened at a price point of 115,482. Under P&L, here's where you'll be able to see your unrealized profit and loss. So you can see in my case here, I'm absolutely crushing it. I'm already up 0.03 USDT. And right here, you'll see a realized P&L. And as you can see in my case here, I'm actually down 0.05 USDT. And that's due to the trading fee, which you can see in that little drop down box there. Now, if you would like to add a take profit and a stop loss to your position, what we can do is we can come right over here where it says TPSL. You'll see this little plus box underneath. Go ahead and give that a click. You'll get a pop-up window where you can set a take profit in this box here, and you can set a stop loss in this box here. So let's go ahead and set up a take profit. And just for the purpose of demonstration, let's imagine that I'm targeting 120,000 as my take profit. I'll just go ahead and simply type that into this box like this. Now down below, you can see that Blofin is estimating how much profit I would make if the price of Bitcoin was to rise to 120,000. So if Bitcoin rises up and hits 120,000, this position will be closed in a profit of 3.61 USDT. Now let's go ahead and set a stop loss. And for the purpose of demonstration, let's imagine that I want to set a stop loss just below 115,000. So let's do something like this. We'll go 114,900. Now I can see right here that I would be losing 0.47 USDT if this trade was to go against me and my stop loss got hit. This looks fine for this demonstration, so I'm going to go ahead and click right here on confirm. Now, when we come up here to the chart, you can see that I just added a take profit, which is in this box right here and represented by that red line. And we can see the stop loss in this box right here, represented by this red line down below. So if the price of Bitcoin comes up and hits 120,000, Blofin's going to automatically close this trade in a profit, even if I'm fast asleep in the middle of the night. If the trade suddenly goes against me and Bitcoin shoots down, it'll trigger my stop loss rate here at 114,900, and the trade will be closed in a small loss, even if I'm away from the computer and fast asleep in the middle of the night. Now, if you want to amend these, you can easily do that by actually just dragging these boxes. So for example, let's imagine that I want to move my take profit to the top of this wick right here. Let's go ahead and move this box out of the way. So what I can do is I can grab onto the take profit box, hold down left click, and I can drag it up right to the tip of that wick. Let go, and as you can see, it just modified my take profit to 123,213. And I can do the same thing with the stop loss. Let's imagine that I want to give this trade a little bit more room to breathe, and maybe I want to set my stop loss below this pivot point here, and maybe even below that blue moving average. So let's go ahead and grab onto the stop loss box and we'll drag it down. Maybe I want to do something like this, just for the purpose of demonstration. And as you can see, I just amended that stop loss to 111,106. As easy as that. Now at any point, if you want to cancel those all together, you can do that by clicking on the little X inside these boxes. So I'll go ahead and cancel the stop loss by simply clicking this X. And just like that, I got rid of the stop loss. Alternatively, if you're not seeing these boxes on your chart for whatever reason, you can always come down here, click where it says open orders, click here where it says TPSL. This is where you'll find the details of your take profits and stop losses, and you can cancel them by coming over here on the right hand side and clicking on the cancel button. And as you can see, I just got rid of that take profit. As simple as that. Now, if you'd like to manually close your position, we can get this done by coming over here. Make sure we're set to the positions tab by giving it a click. Then over here on the right hand side, you'll see that there's an option to do a market close in this box right here. But you'll see there's another option where you can do a reverse. Now, what this means is that your current position will be closed and the same position will be opened in the other direction. So in my case, if I was to click here on reverse, that's going to close my long position and open up the exact same position size, same leverage, same margin mode, but into a short position betting on the price to go down. Now, in my particular position here, I don't want to use the reverse option because I'm just demonstrating some trades. So I'm going to use the market close option right here. And this is how you can just simply close your trade right away at the best available price off the order book, whether it's sitting in a profit or sitting in a loss. So we'll go ahead and just click here on close all under market close. We're getting an order confirmation pop-up window letting us know that I'm about to close this position. This looks good to me, so I'm going to click here on close all. And as you can see, I just closed that position at the best available price off the order book, and I think I even locked in a tiny profit of about 2 cents worth of Tether. Nothing but winning over here, folks. Now I'll do one more market order demonstration, but this time I want to show you how to set your take profit and stop loss before you even open your position. So to get this done, we're going to come back up here to the order panel. We'll make sure we're set to market. And next we'll choose the size of the position we wish to open. Let's go ahead and do 100 Tether again. Now, before opening this trade, let's come down here and check this box where it says TPSL. And as you can see, you're going to get a couple boxes here where you can type in your take profit target and your stop loss target before you even open this position. And for this demonstration, I will demonstrate with a short position, so betting on the price to go down. So let's just imagine I'm a big bad bear. My name's Peter Schiff and I think Bitcoin's going to zero and I just want to short it. So the first thing I want to do is I want to find a take profit for my short positions. We'll come over here to the chart, and just for the purpose of demonstration, let's imagine that I want to target somewhere around this pivot on the market right here. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and grab a horizontal here from the drawing tools, and I'm going to go ahead and mark a spot maybe somewhere right around here. Now I can see a price point on the y-axis of the chart coming at 102,066. And I'm going to go ahead and set that as my take profit target for my short position. So we'll come back over here to the order panel and we'll type that into this box right here. We'll go 102,066. Nice. Now I can see right here that Blofin is estimating a P&L of 10 Tether if my take profit target gets hit. Now let's go ahead and set up a stop loss. So we'll come back over here to the chart, and let's just imagine for this demonstration that I want to set a stop loss above this wick right here. Maybe I'm thinking to myself, if Bitcoin just keeps going up from here and starts getting above that wick, that maybe it's about to re-enter price discovery and I don't feel like getting wrecked. So I'm going to go ahead and set a stop loss just above that wick. Once again, we'll grab a horizontal here from the drawing tools, and let's go ahead and mark a spot just above that wick, maybe something like this. Good enough for this demonstration. Now I can see a price point on the y-axis of the chart, which makes life so much easier, and that's coming at 123,704. So we'll come down here to the stop loss trigger price, and we'll type that in. We'll go 123,704. Now I can see my estimated loss would be about 6.5 Tether if my stop loss gets hit. So now that I have the short order set the way that I want it, I'm going to click right here on sell short. We'll get our order confirmation pop-up window, and as you can see, there's a take profit that's going to be added right here at 102,000, and my stop loss will be added immediately at 123,000. So make sure this is what you intended, and if it is, just click right here on confirm. And as you can see, that short position just opened at the best available price off of the order book. Now when we come over here to the chart, we can see the short position in this box right here. And we can see the stop loss was added immediately up here. And we can see the take profit was added immediately down here. If we want to see more details about all of this, we can come down here. You'll be able to see your position, of course, on the positions tab. But if you click here on open orders, click here on TPSL, here's where you'll be able to see your take profit as well as your stop loss in more detail. If you want to cancel these, you can just come over here on the right hand side and click on cancel. And as you can see, I just removed the stop loss and take profit at the same time. I'll also point out, if you want to manually close your position at the market price, you can also do that by clicking on this little X inside the trade box. You can see it says close position. Just give that a click. Then we'll confirm that's what we want to do. Yes, it is. So we'll click here on close all. And as you can see, I just closed that position at the best available price off the order book. So that's another way that you can quickly close your positions. And that, folks, is how market orders work. Now I'll demonstrate a limit order. And these order types give you the ability to choose a price point that you wish to open a long position or a price point that you wish to open a short position. But you will need the price of the asset to reach your order price before your order is going to fill and put you into a position. So to get this done, we're going to come up here to the order panel and we'll start out by clicking here on limit. Next, we need to choose a price point that we wish to place an order onto the order book. So for this example, I'll demonstrate with a long order first. So let's head on over here to the chart. And for the purpose of demonstration, let's imagine that I'm bullish on Bitcoin, but maybe I think it's going to pull back just a little bit before catching a bounce and going to a higher high. Maybe I'm looking at this chart and I'm thinking perhaps it pulls back somewhere around this pivot point here. So what I'll do is I'll grab a horizontal here from the drawing tools and let's mark that pivot out. Maybe something like that. Now I can see a price point on the y-axis of the chart coming at 110,518. And maybe I want to place an order to open a long position at that price point. So we'll come over here to the order panel and I'll type that into price. We'll go 110,518. Next, we'll choose the size of the order we wish to place. So for this demonstration, I'll do 100 Tether again. Just type that in. And now that I'm ready to place this order, I'm going to come down here and click on Buy Long. Now we're getting our order confirmation pop-up window, so confirm the details are what you intended. I can see that I'm placing this order at 110,518 as intended. So I'm going to go ahead and click here on Confirm. Now I've placed that limit order onto the order book. And if we come over to the chart, we can see that order inside this box right here. So in this situation, if Bitcoin was to roll over and come down and hit the price of 110,518, this order is going to fill and put me into a long position. So of course, what I want to happen is I want price to come down, fill my order, and then bounce to the upside for this trade idea to become profitable. If price was to come down and fill my order, but then just keep cascading to the downside, I'd obviously get wrecked. So that's certainly a worthy consideration when using a limit order. Or if price just continues up from here, of course I'll miss the trade altogether because price failed to come down and fill my order. So that's one thing that is important to know about limit orders. You do need the price to come down, hit your order price before your position's going to fill. You'll be able to see the details of your limit orders that are on the order book if you come down here. Make sure you click on Open Orders and then click here on Limit. And here's where you'll see all the different limit orders that you have on the order book. If at any point you want to cancel your limit order, you can always come over here on the right hand side and click on Cancel. Or you can come up to the chart and inside this little box, click on this X right here. And just like that, I took that order to go long off of the order book. And there you have it, your introduction to trading futures on Blofin. If you got some value out of that, don't forget to leave me a like and hit subscribe for future content. Also feel free to check out some of my other Blofin tutorials, which I've put together in a playlist on my YouTube channel. Thanks so much for coming by and checking out this video. Looking forward to seeing you in the next one, and until I do, have yourself a powerful day.